Hey, this is Gursinder Singh from the Desi Hit Squad and Impact Superstar. You're listening to Tapped Out Interviews.
Hello and welcome to Tapped Out Interviews. We're part of the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin, and you could follow me on Twitter at PWSOTH. And very excited today. We have a very special guest. Been wanting to get this guy back for some time, and he's here today. So please help me welcome Impact Wrestling superstar, Gursinder Singh. Gursinder, welcome back, man.
Thanks, Lewis, man. I appreciate you having me back on the show.
Well, I appreciate you being here, man. First of all, I just want to say it was a pleasure meeting you at Bad Intentions. I finally get to meet you, and I shook your hand, took a picture with you, and I've been wearing that Desi Hit Squad shirt a lot. So it was a pleasure meeting you there, man.
Glad to hear it. It's good putting pictures of the face now.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, I went to Winter Comic-Con. I was wearing that shirt, and everybody knew at Winter Comic-Con. Everybody knew who the Desi Hit Squad was.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I made sure of it. Man.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was a great match, by the way, against OVE at Bad Intentions. I know it was a while ago, but that was a terrific match. I'm not sure if I told you that or not, but yeah, terrific match.
Yeah, I think you did. That was I really enjoyed that match. That was good. That was the first time we got to wrestle OVE too, and they're such a good tag team. But yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's probably one of your best matches, the best Desi Hit Squad matches that I've seen. It was just from start to finish, it was a really, really good match.
Yeah, I think, the good thing about doing the one night onlys and, those, sort of pay-per-views is, you get a lot more time. But when you're obviously on Impact, there's so many time queues and, it's only a 2-hour show, so you don't get much time. But when you do the one night only stuff, you get enough time to do what you need to do and tell a good story. So I felt like that's what we did with OVE, which was pretty cool.
No, it was really good, man. I was hoping you would win. You almost pulled that a couple of times, but unfortunately OVE was victorious.
Yeah, I was looking at Rohit. I was like, how many times do I have to kick out? Where are you? But yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah, it was a great match. So you've been in Impact Wrestling for a number of months now. So how has your time been so far with Impact Wrestling?
It's been good. It's been it's been a year since I signed. I was just thinking about it. I signed last November after the Global Forge stuff. And then the Desi Hit Squad got announced around, I think, January of this year. And then we debuted it properly on TV in June. But the whole ride's been great. Every set of tapings has been fun. Working with Gama hands-on is really cool. He means a great deal to my family. My granddad was really big into Gama growing up.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been such a good ride so far, and everyone backstage is great. Everyone behind the scenes as well has been great, but I couldn't have asked for a better time than I've had so far.
That's good, man. Like you said, the announcement for the Desi Hit Squad was made back in January. Was there a reason why it took so long for you guys to debut? Because I think it took 5 months or so for you to debut.
Yeah, so we were me and Rohit were ready to go. Obviously, Rohit, he was on TV around January. But so we were planning to debut at April because the tapings were meant to be in Toronto.
Okay.
But last minute changed. It ended up being in, where was the April tape? I think it was back in Orlando.
I believe so, yes.
For Redemption. So it was actually scheduled to be that on April tapings, but that got changed around. So we got pushed back again till June. Me and Rohit got to do our thing in March for a couple of shows on the Global Wrestling Network, but it got pushed back to June. But it was meant to be April. It just the venues changed, so then we just kind of had to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, I remember seeing those matches on the Global Wrestling Network. I believe it was, if my memory serves me right, Sheldon Jean and Stone Rockwell was one match. you had, and I think
Yeah,
the other one
and
was
then-
Cody Deaner and Jake something, I believe was the second one.
Yeah, those were the two matches we had in March.
So who actually came up with the idea for the Desi Hit Squad?
I don't know too much. So when I signed, I didn't know. I knew I was going to get a name change from Tony Cage, but I didn't know what the plan was for me. I heard like Scott was telling me that I'll be doing a tag team with Hakeem Zayn at the time, but that was all I heard. And then Gama obviously heard a lot more than I did, and I'm close with his family, so I kind of knew a little bit before they announced the whole group. But yeah, when everything came together and I found out there was two other guys that were in the group as well, I was like, oh wow, this is like a big stable. But for me at the time, I thought it was going to be me, Zayn and Gama. Then they announced the other two, but yeah, it was pretty like when it got announced. I didn't know they were going to announce it publicly when they did back in January. I remember my Twitter was blowing up, my Instagram. I was like, what's going on? And then I see a picture of my face. I was like, oh, sweet. I was like, they've done it.
Wow, so you had no idea that they were announcing that Desi Hit Squad was coming until you found out on Twitter from other people.
Yeah. Like I knew that like a group was coming, and I heard about the name, but I just didn't know the details. And so when they announced it, I was pretty much like everyone else. I was like, oh damn! Like so, it was kind of like I was like a fan again, because it kind of got me really excited too. I was like, oh sweet.
Yeah, now you mentioned the other two guys, Vikas Kumar and I think it was Gursinder Singh. Is it safe to say that they are not going to be joining the Desi Hit Squad?
I'm not personally. I'm not too sure. I know Bhupinder's in Windsor training at the Can-Am dojo.
Okay.
He still has a lot to work on, and obviously Gama's working close with him, and he's working close at the dojo as well. But I'm just not sure when he'll be ready. But they're just trying to get him up to speed.
I see.
Because he's got like a lot less experience than me and Zayn do.
Okay.
So hopefully he picks it up quick and he can join in. But for now, I think he's just sticking to training. Vikas, I'm not too sure. I think he's still in India.
Okay.
I haven't really heard much about him, so I'm not too sure what's happening with him.
Okay.
But you never know; things can change. So, like I said, when they announced the group, I didn't really get much notice. So you never know; he could be in a flight right now. For all we know.
He could be in Las Vegas right now for the next tapings, right?
Yeah, you never know, right?
Like you mentioned Gama Singh. Now we all know Gama Singh is a legend, and you said you're very close to him. What have you learned from Gama Singh? Working with him side by side for the last couple of months. Anything in particular that you would have learned from him?
Just when to seize the moment in matches, taking your time. Just he's very nitpicky, so he picks out like the small stuff, which is like goes a long way. But he's just it's almost like a direct feedback every time we wrestle too, and even when we're on TV, like if I'm in the corner or Zayn's in the corner and you can kind of see him talking to us, like he'll give us direct feedback on what to do next, on what we're doing. Like he's great hands on, and he's just there's just so much I've learned from him so far, and even like when we're not on TV and if I'm in Calgary, because I go back there often because I used to live there. Like we'll sit down, watch matches with Raj Singh as well as son, which is cool. And like, damn, Gama's wrestled like easily over 1,000 matches in his career, and just all the stories he has, and you just forget how knowledgeable and how good of a worker he was. And he's still kind of, if you guys watched Impact a couple of weeks ago with Rohit, he kind of did a little bit of chaining, which is pretty cool. But Yeah, him in his prime. Oh, if he got into the ring with me or Rohit in his prime, he'd beat us both.
Yeah, no, actually, I YouTubed, then of course the name Gama Singh, and I came across a match, out in, I think it was 1977, 78, taking on Java Rook with a young Roddy Piper was, Java Rook's manager. And it was a really good match, and Piper jumped him at the end, and Chavo Guerrero came out and made the save, so it was really great stuff there. There's a lot of stuff on, YouTube for Gama Singh.
Very, like, even when you come across different wrestlers, like, people just look at him and be like, oh damn, that's Gama. Like, it's just when you see legends today, for me, like, when you see guys like Chavo and Edge Christian and all that, and these guys like lose their breath a little bit when they hear about Gama or see him.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool how much he meant to these guys as well, and even to my trainer, Lance Storm, original trainer. He always talks about Gama so highly, so it's crazy how much he's affected the generation before me, and then it's crazy how he's still doing that right now with guys like me going forward.
Well, yeah, I mean, the fans were chanting, "You still got it," when he was in the ring with Rohit Raju.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Speaking of which, you lost the lose to leave squad match with Rohit Raju, and Raj Singh is now part of the Desi Hit Squad. What's your status right now? Are you still part of that group? Are you coming back with somebody else, or you want to keep that under wraps for now?
So what I can tell you guys is, the group's like, with everyone together, including me, that's like the whole mindset behind the Desi Hit Squad. But, some complications with me, like with my personal life and just behind the business is, why I had to go out for a little bit, but
okay.
I'm still with Impact. I'm still, like, even though they said loser leaves Desi Hit Squad, I'm still with the group. But you'll see me back on TV soon. You just gotta keep watching the TV, but that's all I can say for now.
Okay, I was kind of hoping that maybe they would bring in Sam and we get the Ripperoos will come back or something. We get the Ripperoos.
Nah, Sam's actually Sam's in Australia at the moment. We're doing some shows down there.
Yeah, he's actually I was surprised to see him. He was made a few Impact appearances, but I think it was Greg Osborne instead of Sam Osborne.
Yeah, yeah. I was giving him so much strife about that. That was funny. But yeah, he did. He did like 2 Impact shows. He did some extra work for WWE, I believe. So he's doing really good, and now he's back in Australia, doing some more shows down there. And then I'm pretty sure he's thinking about going to UK. So he's gonna be big in time, man. He's just pushing himself and just working hard. That guy.
Yeah, no, he's very, very talented. Just thinking, I remember I was calling him Dave Osborne. You're like, no, it's not Dave, it's Sam. But now I gotta get used to Greg Osborne. So, he's going through all these name changes. So.
You know what's funny? No one picks that his name's Sam. It always changes. Like, we've been on so many shows together where someone will call him Dan, Greg, Sam, something else. It's like, I'm like, man, you just gotta change your name or something.
Yeah, man. So, all right. So back to you and Rohit. So you guys, I thought you guys make a great team. And I know there's a lot of, nothing against Raj Singh, but there's a lot of Twitter, tweets indicating that people would rather see you, as part of the Desi Hit Squad as opposed to Raj Singh. But like I said, you guys make a great team. You guys have like a good relationship outside the ring as well as it is inside, you and Rohit?
Yeah. I mean, so we pretty much met when we both came into contact with Impact for the whole Global Forge thing, but we're pretty close. Like, we talk when we can. We message each other all the time. It's a little bit harder because he lives in Detroit and I'm based in Toronto, but we're pretty close. Even since we started tagging too, we've come a lot closer together. Because being a tag partner, you gotta be really close with your partner for the team to work.
Sure.
But yeah, I've seen those tweets as well, but, us all as a group, like, we're all very close. Like, now Rohit and, Raj will be tagging, so hopefully they will, become close as well because like Raj is like a brother to me. He's like one of my best friends in this business. He's been helping me since I started my career in Calgary. So I've known him a long time, and
Okay.
we talk every single day. So we're all pretty close. Once they get a little bit closer to, it'll be really cool. But there's big things for the group. I just don't wanna spoil what's to come. But there's big things coming.
Okay. Just one more question. I was reading a rumor that Mahabali Shera, who was just released from, well, not just, but he was released from the WWE, may be joining the Desi Hit Squad. I don't know if you want to comment on that, if there's any truth to that, but, I read that. I read that.
I don't, from my knowledge, there's no truth to that.
Okay.
Last I heard, I think he's back in India or something, but
Okay.
he's a nice guy. I remember I've met him a few times. But as far as I know, there's no truth to him coming to Impact.
All right. So who have been some of your favorite opponents, in Impact? I know you guys have gone up against LAX. We talked about OVE a little bit. You had to take on Fallah Bahh and KM. So who have been your favorite opponents, so far?
Favorite opponents would probably be OVE.
Okay.
I'd say OVE. Yeah. I can't wait till we have more matches with those guys. I really liked wrestling Ishimori and Petey Williams. Okay. That was really cool doing our little stuff we did with them for a few weeks. LAX was good too. LAX is really great, and we had a lot of fun with Fallah. But we've had a lot of good matches. But my favorite opponent would be OVE for sure.
Okay.
Tag team wise.
Yeah, no, like I said, that match of Bad Intentions, it's my favorite Desi Hit Squad match for sure, against OVE at Bad Intentions. So, Fallah Bahh, like, how do you wrestle someone like Fallah Bahh? I mean, the guy he's humongous, not to insult him or anything, but he's a big guy, and sooner or later you're gonna have to take a sit down splash or a steamroll. But how do you wrestle a guy like that? How do you prepare for something like that?
Well, me and Rohit were kind of being overly confident, and Gama's kind of trying to warn us about him. But
okay.
As soon as he did, I don't know if you've seen that picture, but there's a picture where he does the sit down splash, and I'm laying on the floor.
Yeah.
He dropped all his weight on me.
Okay.
And that moment I saw him slowly coming down, and I was like, yep. Maybe we should came into this match a little bit more prepared. But I remember he sat on me. I was like, oh my god, that was the heaviest man has ever dropped on me. And then I remember as soon as that happened, Rohit jumped on him, and then he splashed me with Rohit on him too. And I was like, oh my god,
yes,
that didn't hurt. So that wasn't so nicely, but yeah, he's a very different type of wrestler. So like he's very big, but he's agile as well. So he can move quick. So like when you're wrestling him, you kind of get surprised how quick he moves for his size. Yeah. So it was actually took me by surprise. He's really talented. Like I hadn't seen much of Fallah before I came to Impact. But yeah, I really liked working with him and KM. Those guys are really funny.
Yeah, I remember the sit down splash. I think I contacted you asking if you were okay after that, because that was you were flattened out, and I was like, oh my god!
Oh man,
I hope he didn't kill.
I'm surprised my chest didn't pop or something.
So I'm sorry. Are you going to be your bookings since you're with Impact Wrestling? Have your bookings increased at all? Have you got a lot more bookings due to being with Impact Wrestling, or is it about the same?
No, I've definitely got more since I've been with Impact, but now when I get bookings, I pick the ones I want to do. So I don't do every single booking that's handed to me. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is because you want to know who you get into the ring with, and some of the guys in the indies are quite dangerous that I've come across, and that's why every time I take bookings now, I want to know who I'm wrestling. So I do the smart choice, because obviously I want to do this for a long time, and all it takes is one guy to slip up and say, "Oh, I fucked up," and then you're just like, "Well, that doesn't really matter," sort of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's cool. It's good with Impact that I can pick the bookings I want. I've obviously been offered a lot of bookings in the States, but I don't have a US visa at the moment.
Okay.
So I can't do that, for now. But yeah, it's been good so far. I'm actually going to Australia in December for the first time. I haven't even wrestled in Australia. So that'll be cool doing that. And then, next year I've got a whole bunch of bookings, which will be really cool.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that a little later on. You're booked. I think it's in Brisbane, December 15th. What show are you going to be at? Is it going to be with Sam, or is it?
It's called Venom Pro Wrestling. Brisbane is where I grew up, so all my family lives there.
Okay.
So this is the first time I'm wrestling there, so it's going to be a special one for me. Sam's actually going to be there too. He's booked as well. But I believe I'm versing Nick Bury, his name is.
Okay.
He's from a group called the Brat Pack in MCW for Melbourne.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Me and him trained together too at Lancers, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, it's the first time, and I can now cross off places I've wrestled, and now I can cross off Australia, which is pretty cool.
You ever think about wrestling in Japan? Maybe you have already, but I was thinking, I think you would be a good addition to All Japan or Noah or even New Japan Pro Wrestling. Has that ever crossed your mind?
Yeah, I think if the opportunity or the offer arose, I would definitely go to Japan. I've always wanted to experience what it's like there, and I've heard so many stories with all the guys going out there too. I definitely want to try it out someday, but I'm very open to it. Like I said, as soon as the offer comes or an opportunity, I'd take it for sure.
Now, there's a lot of wrestling going on in Toronto right now. Destiny, Smash. I noticed you've been booked on a lot of Greektown cards. I think Thursday Night Wrestling. So tell me a little bit about Greektown. I think it's a promotion that's really starting to grow. And I think you've been on the last couple of shows. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Greektown?
Yeah, Greektown's good. They're run by the two boys called the Fraternity.
Okay.
Tag team. We run in downtown Toronto. I've been on their cards for a while now. I was on it before as well when I was Tony Cage, but I've been doing a lot of their shows. So they have two. So there's one that's Thursdays, and then the other one's sometimes Saturday and Sunday. But they're definitely in the top three promotions in Ontario right now. Like, I think, in my opinion, not in order, would be Destiny, BCW, and Greektown.
Okay.
But yeah, they're very up there. They're a great promotion. They've been running for maybe 3 years now, maybe 2.5 years. So they're pretty newish, but they're a great promotion. Like, if anyone's in Toronto, they should check these guys out. They run some good shows.
One of my favorites always seems to be booked on there, RJ City. Have you ever met RJ City in a match, one-on-one? I think that would be a pretty good match.
Nah, I've never come across him in the match, but I've spoke to him a handful of times. But yeah, that would actually be a pretty fun match to wrestle in. But we've only ever met in the locker room. We haven't met in the ring yet.
Okay, and then never know. After the match, it could be a Thursday. That Sunday, you could join him for coffee in your underwear.
I think I have to pass for that if it's in my underwear.
Okay, he's been doing that for a while, and it's just him making coffee in his underwear, and it's every week he's getting more and more viewers. So I don't know what's going on. I don't see where the appeal is, but people want to see RJ make coffee in his underwear on Sundays. I don't know. But you won't be there. You won't be on there anytime soon. You said, right?
Nah, that's just not for me. Like, good on him for doing that, but that's just not my thing.
Okay. So you were actually in Mexico with Impact. I think you mentioned on Twitter that was your first time in Mexico. So what was the experience like, and did you get to do any tourist stuff when you were out there?
Mexico was great. Like, I've been to Mexico before, but Cancun when I was like, for like spring breaks, I was like in my teenage years. But this is the first time in Mexico, and probably in Mexico too. And it was crazy. Like, it was cool though. As soon as I got to the airport, there's the wrestling is so big there that people straight away was like, "Oh, you work for Impact, blah blah blah." Came up to me. it was cool. Like the fans are very passionate about it. The city itself was really cool. Like we had a guided, about 3 vans with guys that would show us around and take us anywhere we'd need to go. So there are bad parts, obviously, but just being with them, just all safe, which was pretty cool. But we sightseed quite a bit in Mexico City. Went around to a few places, which was pretty cool. It was cool that like the fans knew where we were staying, and every day of tapings in the mornings, they would be there waiting for us with autographs.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. But the whole experience in Mexico City was great. Like the food's cheap. I think I spent like $30, and I was there for 3 or 4 days, and I ate so much food because I didn't like, besides catering obviously at the venue, but outside of the venue I was eating a lot of food, and I spent only $30. Like if you do that in Toronto, it's like $30 is like one meal.
Yeah,
with a drink.
One trip to like KFC or something, or Tim Hortons is like spend almost $30.
Yeah, so it was yeah, exactly, and it was so cheap. But I'd love to go back there. Impact are actually going back there January 11th and 12th, okay. I think.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
I know they're coming back up. Yeah, I recently moved out to Windsor, so been going to the BCW shows out here. I know they announced that Impact's coming back here in March. Do you think you might be a part of those tapings? You will be. Oh, thank goodness. All right, cool. So I know they got a big show. Well, not a big show, but they have a show coming up on December 8th in a bar. I think it's for charity. It's safe to say I don't think you'll be there. I think you're booked elsewhere on that day. But no, I look forward to seeing you on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, like the 8th one, I'd love to have done it, but I'll be traveling to Vancouver around there, which is I can do the booking. But yeah, I'll be on the March tapings. The last I've heard is I'm scheduled to come back in January.
Okay.
So yeah, once I'm back, I'll definitely be on the March tapings as well. So looking forward to that.
All right, yeah, me too. Maybe I could get another picture with you or something, man. That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Or you can get it when the whole group's together too.
Yeah, no, it's funny you mentioned that, because after I got my picture with you, Rohit Raju was like literally standing like 2 centimeters away from me, and as I walked away, I'm thinking, I got the picture with Gursinder. Why didn't I get a picture with both of them? It would have been great to get a shot with both the entire Desi Hit Squad, but I guess I was starstruck when I met you, so I wasn't thinking straight.
Don't worry, man. Next time, and then you'll definitely get a picture with all of them.
Yeah, no, I'll get it next time, man. So how do you, Don Callis and Scott D'Amore, what kind of job do you think they've done so far with Impact? I think they've done a very, very good job, but what's your opinion about the job they've done so far?
I think they've done great. They've honestly flipped the company, and it's going in the right direction since they took over. A lot more people seem to be wanting to really come to Impact now, and Impact just seems in very high demand. And Scott and Don working as a team behind the scenes and creative, they're doing great. Like they're two good guys is really good to work with. I only met Don when he came into Impact, and he's always been nice to me, which is pretty cool. And Scott's I've known Scott for a while as well, but they've both been doing really great with the company so far. And I think going forward, if they keep going with Impact as well, sky's the limit. Like they can do so much things with the company.
Yeah, I do hope. I know I think they're looking for a new TV deal. I'm not happy. A lot of people aren't happy that Pop moved them to 10 p.m., but I think the TV deal expires, and I'm just going by what I'm reading on the internet, so I don't really know. But expires in December, and hopefully they can get a new deal with a different channel, or even with Pop. I'm not sure what would happen. Any word on what might be happening with the TV deal, or you're uncertain?
I kind of stay outside of those whole politics and stuff with
Okay.
the TV stuff, but I think I heard as well, not from within the company, but the same thing with you. I heard from like the internet that they're going to a new network or something like that. But I'm sure I'd find out if I asked. I just don't really ask about that sort of stuff.
Okay. All right, that's fair enough, man. Now I have 4 fan questions, if that's okay, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so
For sure.
we'll start with from Twitter is at BQ Speaks. He wanted me to ask if you felt like the Desi Hit Squad was not initially presented and introduced the right way. That's coming from at BQ Speaks on Twitter.
I feel like when we started out, like we were on a good roll, and then I think as soon as we took our first loss, that's when things started going down, and it was very hard to come back from that. So I believe if we kept our undefeated streak going, we'd be in a very different place right now. But I think once we got a couple losses under our belt, it hurt us a lot.
Yeah.
But, looking back, I'd hope, obviously we would have done different to keep the streak going, and would have done different in the matches to keep it going. But like they say, everything happens for a reason, and for what's to come, it's kind of like, you have to go through these obstacles to really show what kind of wrestler you are, what kind of a person you are, and if you can get through these up and downs, it just shows how good of a team you can be. So I really believe everything happens for a reason, and the best is yet to come.
Yeah, I'll be the first to say that when you lost the Petey Williams and Tashi Ishimori, I believe that was your first loss, I was really disappointed, and
Yeah.
I agree with you. You guys were on the winning streak, and then you lost the match, and then I think you lost to KM and Fallah Bahh the following week. So that did take a little out of it. I kind of wish that you won that match, but I agree with you there. I was very disappointed. I really wanted you to win that match, and because Petey Williams and Tashi Ishimori, they're not even a team anymore. I feel you guys definitely should have gotten that win, but so I do agree with you on that, man. But yeah. But could it maybe it was part of the storyline leading up to what's going on now? Could that have been why you went on a little losing streak?
Yeah, you never know. So, that's again. I don't want to spoil too much, but you could be
fair enough.
Onto something.
Okay, so we'll leave it at that. We'll go to the next question. Comes again from Twitter. It's at the Be Me. Wants to know how much has Don Callis done for you as a wrestler and character development.
Wrestling wise, he's very he has a lot of great feedback for me, and he's very one of the few that will come up to me. I even remember, I think it was the match against OVE. He came up to me straight afterwards. I think it was that intermission, and he was just gave me some pointers on what I should have done differently straight away, which is great because I like that, because it's better than someone kind of giving you feedback a couple days later or a week later, and then you're kind of not sure exactly what he was talking about. But Don's great for that, and he always kind of goes out of his way to better my in-ring craft. The character development, that's mainly been with Gama.
Okay.
Gama's helped us a lot with how our characters should be, and how we should be portrayed and everything. But Don keeps a very close eye on us, which is cool. Him and Gama go way back. So Don's very involved with us. So is Sanjay. But, Don does a whole heap for me, which is cool. I really like him.
All right, man. Awesome. Now we have another question and another statement, and again from Twitter. This fan, big fan of yours, Jacqueline Buckley. She first of all, she wanted to know if you'd come to do some shows in Chicago, but I think you addressed that with you said you don't have a visa right now, a U.S. visa.
Yeah.
But she said she would love to. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, go ahead. Finish the question.
No, I was going to say, she said she would love to see you live She would definitely get first row seats. She would bring all her friends to cheer you on. She told me that you were one of her favorites, and she's indicating that when you lost the match to Raju, she cried because she thinks you're off Impact now. So she's. I don't know if you want to address that and put her.
Yeah, I'll address that. So the first to wrestle in Chicago, but yeah, like I said earlier, I can't do any bookings in the States just because I don't have a US visa at the moment.
Okay.
And I'm still with Impact. If that makes her feel any better.
Okay.
That's kind of cool that she'd want to bring all her friends to a show. Which is kind of cool. But if I'm in Chicago, then I'm definitely think that I'll see a bunch of if I see a group of fans all cheering me, then I'll be like, okay, that's definitely that fan from Twitter.
Yeah, and she actually was messaging me. I promised her I would ask you to say hello to her. So her name is Jacqueline Buckley. I don't know if you want to just give Jacqueline Buckley a quick hello on the air.
It's Jacqueline Buckley?
Jacqueline Buckley, yeah.
What's her name?
Jacqueline.
Hey, Jacqueline Buckley. Sorry, I lost on Impact. Safe to say I'm still with the company, so stay tuned to your TV screens.
Okay, there you go, man. I think she would be really happy. She said if you could do that for me, she'll love me forever. So, I told her I asked you to say something for her. And the last one is, I think, the most important question. It's coming from the 3 Count again on Twitter. He wants to know if you like Canadian cuisine.
Canadian cuisine.
Yeah, Canadian food. Yeah.
Just like Canadian food.
Yeah, Canadian food.
Oh yeah. I like Canadian food. Since when I first moved to Canada, I never heard of stuff like poutine and stuff before. At first, I was like, why are people putting this on their chips? Like, I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
But once I first tried it, it was great, and like all the Canadian foods I've had so far, it's been really tasty. So I love the food here.
All right, man. Well, that's it. Before we go, is there anything you want to plug? I know you had a few upcoming matches. You mentioned one in Australia, but anything you want to plug? Any social media or any T-shirts or anything you want to plug quickly before we go?
Yeah, sure. I'll just plug my social medias if anyone's wondering where to follow me. But it's across Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's at Gursinder Impact. If you want merchandise, you can go on prowrestlingtees.com/Gursinder Singh, where you can pick up a Desi Hit Squad or a Gursinder Singh t-shirt. And then, I've got some bookings coming up in Ottawa, Timmins, in Mississauga for Destiny for the iPay-per-view. And then in Australia, December 15th, and Vancouver on December 10th. So that's the rest of my year. And then after the 15th, I've got a couple weeks off to spend with my family, so that'll be cool. But if you're at the shows, come say hello, or you guys can message me on my social media accounts, and I'll try to get back to as many as you can.
All right, I was gonna order that pay-per-view for Destiny. Do you know who your opponent might be for that night, or you're not sure yet?
It's a tag match. So I kind of spoiled it me saying something, but yeah, it's a tag match. But one of the guys that's my opponent is Sheldon.
Okay.
So so that's pretty cool. But I'll leave it as that. You definitely, for the people listening, you guys should order the pay-per-view. It will be a great show, and if you guys are in the area, definitely come out and check it out.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to order it. I kind of wish I still lived in Toronto to go see it, but definitely going to order it. I think it's on Fight. So I'm definitely going to order that. I'm looking forward to that. So Gursinder, I'm sorry. Thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, man. You're a man of your word. You told me in November, and it's November, and you're here, so I really appreciate it. And I'd love to have you back real soon, man, when you have some time.
No worries, man. Always happy to come back and have a chat. Thanks for having me on here.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Well, this has been Tapped Out Interviews. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. Again, I want to thank my guest, Gursinder Singh of Impact Wrestling. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. So long, everybody. Bye-bye.